Welcome to Books in Sum, your go-to for bite-sized book summaries.
Matt Watkinson's The Grid takes a systemic view of business that is useful for entrepreneurs, managers, and department heads in answering questions like, how likely is it that my startup idea will succeed? Or what can I do to make my business more profitable? Or how do changes in my department affect the rest of the company? This method takes into account the big picture because it has been shown that businesses do better when approached in this manner. And because if you keep an open mind and observe your environment carefully, you can find useful information even in the unlikeliest of places. The author's experience with persistent knee pain led him to discover the root of the issue, a muscle imbalance between his shoulders and toes that threw his hips out of whack and put undue strain on his knees. With this all-encompassing method, business owners, supervisors, and heads of departments can unearth hidden gems in the unlikeliest of places. The author's personal experience with chronic knee pain led him to discover the root of the problem, a muscle imbalance between his shoulders and toes that threw his hips out of alignment and put additional strain on his knees. The 3 objectives, 3 factors, and 9 components are the meat and potatoes of this book. Attractiveness, profitability, and survival are all targets worth pursuing. Having a product that people want to buy and are willing to pay enough for is crucial to maintaining a profitable business. For a company to stay open and continue providing goods and services, it must generate enough profit to cover its operating costs from customer sales. Last but not least, a company's continued existence depends on its ability to attract and retain customers for an extended period of time. All 3 of these objectives are intertwined. If customers don't see value in your product, you won't make any money off of it. The author's collaboration with a high-end wheelchair manufacturer serves to demonstrate the value of keeping 3 objectives in mind at all times. Companies can't do this without considering the market, their internal operations, and their clientele. Customers, internal processes, and external conditions are the 3 most influential variables. Both the needs and wants of your customers and your company's strengths and weaknesses are constantly evolving. Businesses often struggle to adapt to the ever-changing nature of the market. Wants and needs, competition, and alternatives all play a role in determining a product's marketability. Customers' ever-evolving set of beliefs and values informs their wants and needs. In the 1930s, for instance, De Beers ran an ad campaign suggesting that the size of the diamond a man gave his lady indicated the depth of his feelings. By 1981, 60% of Americans had a more favorable opinion of diamonds as a result of this campaign. Competition can also be affected by the availability of substitute products or services offered by competitors. Finally, a product's attractiveness is determined by the variety of alternatives being sold by competitors in that market. When barriers to entry in a market lower, new options often become available. For instance, Airbnb has been successful in undercutting its traditional competitors by flooding the market with cheaper, more desirable accommodations. Features are essential to a product's appeal. In its Share a Coke campaign, Coca-Cola took this concept at face value, replacing the brand's usual logo with ordinary names like Dave and Sarah. Increasing income, maintaining leverage, and decreasing expenses will lead to a profitable business. McKinsey found that a 1% increase in price increased profits by 11% if demand remained constant, making price one of the most effective ways to increase revenue. However, even a 1% increase in volume will only add $20,000 to the company's bottom line. Because of this, you'll need to produce more in order to generate the same amount of revenue from increased sales. You should also be familiar with what makes a business successful over time. Clientele, reproduction, and malleability all fall into this category. In the same way that the size of a company's customer base determines how desirable and profitable that company is, it also determines how long that company will be around. Apple, realizing the importance of preserving its reputation for future negotiations, decided to secure a strong ally in Taylor Swift. To minimize expenses and maximize profits, Elon Musk instituted a policy requiring his signature on all payments over $10,000 and developed elaborate spreadsheets to track and analyze the data. Last but not least, adaptability is the single most important factor in determining a company's attractiveness and profitability, as well as its longevity. The 3 factors that affect a product's longevity, the ability to stay ahead of competitors, and the 9 elements of the grid are the most important details in this text. The first consideration is the ability to be creative and innovative, or to always be one step ahead of the competition. The second consideration is flexibility, or the capacity to anticipate and respond to changes in the marketplace. The third consideration is flexibility, or the capacity to anticipate and respond to changes in the marketplace. The capacity to innovate is the fourth factor, and it refers to the ability to outdo the competition. The ability to innovate and stay ahead of the competition is the fifth factor. 6. You need to be innovative so that you can always be ahead of the game. The ability to innovate and stay ahead of the competition is the seventh factor. Most importantly, this text explains how modifying one part of the grid can affect other parts, including outsourcing. While outsourcing can reduce expenses and boost profits, it can also weaken a company's position in negotiations and make it easier for competitors to enter the market. Recently, the author's services were sought out by a service industry firm that was experiencing financial difficulty and had discovered some perplexing patterns. He realized from this that sometimes you just need a new perspective to spot flaws and fix them. He found out that the firm was selling one-off projects and not providing ongoing support, which was why customers weren't returning and weren't even being prompted to do so. One company's experience with implementing a biannual checkup service that fostered ongoing relationships with customers provides the most relevant information presented here. According to the author, the company's proposals to potential customers were extremely technical, incomprehensible, and omitted key information about the service's advantages. He suggested the company cut costs and increase returns by enhancing its proposals. Your company's strategy should take into account the 9 interconnected factors that affect every business's success. Customers aren't concerned with how much it costs you to make a product. Rather, they care about how much value that product provides to them.
We hope you found this summary helpful in your listening journey. If you're interested in diving deeper into the topic or getting your hands on the whole book, be sure to check the description below where we've included links to the book and other related products that may be useful to you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our latest book summaries, and feel free to leave a comment with any suggestions or requests for books you'd like us to cover. Thanks again for tuning in, and happy listening.